Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Whitney. I use the tarot to channel spirit, to raise the collective consciousness through looking at the themes happening in the subconscious and bringing them to our attention in the present moment so we can use it to move forward with greater alignment and help us with our ascension journey. So I'm super excited, you guys, to dive into your reading because I got a new deck. It's this Caroline Miss deck. Spirit had been kind of nudging me to bring another deck on board. It seems like 3 seems to be like the lucky number here. But I found this deck, Caroline Miss. She talks about the light and the shadow archetypes in each and every one of us. And it's very similar to how I would use the tarot, the traditional tarot. But I thought this would be amazing to help crown the theme of the reading. So that's where I want to go first. And I'm just ready to dive in. So let's just do it. And then we'll kind of get more into like the storyline details with the traditional tarot. Ooh, yay! Right out the gate. Okay, so this is exciting. So, visionary is what came out first. So, let's look at the light and the dark attributes. So, the light attributes are capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. This is huge. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. So, this has been an incredibly like wide reaching theme across the collective right now. So I definitely know this is on track. That's the light attribute. This capacity to envision, it's like spirit is giving you the steps and it's kind of like unfolding, but it may not be something that other people right off the bat go, oh yeah, I see your vision, dude. Like I get it. They're probably like, yeah, no, I don't see it. Now let's talk about the shadow attribute of this reading. Selling insights to the highest bidder. Ooh. And compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. So this is kind of like having maybe not the best motives, or not, let's not say motives, not the best underlying reasoning or foundation as to why you're moving forward with something. Maybe some of us are focusing in on money or like the financial reasons as to why we would do this, as opposed to this being you know, led by spirit and not for personal gain. So it's kind of like when spirit gives us something rather than when we just like try to come up with something on our own, there's definitely a greater plan and a greater vision for why spirit would have this inside of us, would have this give us this vision, this mission for something. It's kind of one of those things where it's like you feel the passion of it, and that's the reason why you move forward. And then as a byproduct, this abundance kind of comes in on top of that, right? But that's not necessarily why one would go into it. So let's keep going. See what other. There's probably going to be a few archetypes that want to step forward since this is a general reading for the collective. And with the light and the shadow aspects of the visionary card, I'm sorry, I didn't even show it to you. Here you go. Can you see it there? Let me make sure you can really see it. Okay. So on the top is the light attribute, and then on the bottom is the shadow. Okay, this is so insane. You can't make this up. Look what came out next. Alchemist. Ah, shoot. Wait, I want to make sure I'm not, it's not my face in focus. It's the card. Okay, light attribute of this card is transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. Like you can't make this up. Okay, the shadow attribute is misuse of power and knowledge that comes through spiritual practice. Holy hell, this is crazy. Okay, let me just show you. Okay, so these two cards, and I shuffled this deck like really thorough. I shuffle all the decks before I start the reading, you guys. So basically, right now, Spirit's bringing forward this message about transforming the base, the kind of like the foundation of you going into this. So if some of you guys have been feeling like, holy hell, this thing is not moving as fast as I would want it to move, or damn, like it's giving Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles in the tarot is like it's is stable. It's a Clydesdale vibe, but it's not necessarily like the fastest moving energy in the tarot. And so if you've been feeling that, this is why. This is the clarity. This is what's going on the subconscious level is spirit is really working with you on making sure that foundation is super solid. Like, you know, there's no playing around. Like even when I want to show you the alchemy card again. When we look at the alchemy card, it's like making sure that the reasons why you're doing this are right, they're rooted in spirit, and they're going to stay right and rooted in spirit. It's like this incredible foundation. The last card that pulled up was the servant card. Okay. So the light attribute of the servant is delight. Oh, this is crazy. Delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. Like, okay, and then the shadow attribute is using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Can I get an amen? Because this is insane. So again, I'll show you. Being in service to others for the right reasons, with the right foundation, and not using money as an excuse to not do this work. Because there is something in the collective consciousness. I've been seeing this, you guys, themes all over, up and down. Even with my spiritual mentor, we talked about it the other day. There are these themes about the whole thing of money is changing. The whole energetic around money is changing. We're moving into where the veil is being lifted, right? So people out in the world who are just doing things just for money, or just trying to like get rich quick schemes, or they're leading with, oh, look at my fancy cars, look at all this stuff that I have, sign up with me. And like, this is the way that you're attracting the service aspect of what you do. That is all changing according to this collective message from spirit. It's like we're doing things, the things that are going to last, the things that are going to be successful it's all changing. We're no longer able to continue this like superficial, surface level way of service. And people are waking up to that. You're waking up to that. Like the people you serve, we're all waking up to this in a greater way, where it's like, because all of collectively our consciousness is raising. It's just the times that we're in. It's like we can now more readily sense when somebody's trying to BS us, right? When somebody is trying to sell us a pipe dream, and it's really just to get our money. They don't really care, like that kind of vibe. So I want you to take this how it resonates for you in terms of what you're doing in service to other people right now. It's like spirit is saying, look, between the visionary, the alchemist, and the servant archetypes in this is an incredible deck so far. I'm loving it. Between these archetypes, spirit's kind of coming through with a clear message of being aware of the light and the shadow, and making sure that we are staying in the alignment with the light aspect of what this is. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Okay. Whew. That was a word just to start off, but let's go into the traditional tarot and let's just kind of see what's going on. Dang, I felt such a big wave of energy come through that deck. I'm like, maybe we could just stop the reading here. Oh, goodness. Coincidence. Nope. Flying out at your girl. Okay. Wow. Okay. Hold on. It wouldn't be a reading on my channel. It wouldn't be a reading on my channel if freaking cards didn't go flying everywhere. Maybe I need a bigger table set up here. Okay. So first out of the deck, no surprises here. We got the Ace of Pentacle, people. We got new beginnings. No surprises here. And then we've got Miss Temperance. Okay. So new beginnings with balance, new beginnings with spiritual ascension work. It's not just new beginnings. I'm seeing that there's a material aspect. Like when we think about the pentacles, there's very much so a material materialization of what's happening. Some of you could quite literally be learning new things, like be going into new levels of education, right? Like maybe it's you're working, you're doing an apprenticeship, maybe you're going back to school. I mean, I never underestimate how spirit can use someone or use someone in a certain field to do this kind of like spiritual work here. You could be going to school to learn how to become a therapist. You could be being trained in Reiki, shamanic journeying, like, I'm trying to think what else, even like nursing, doctor, like, I think sometimes we think like in the esoteric world and spirit journey that it has to be something that's like stereotypically something we would think of as like a spiritual worker, but God can use anybody. And that really is the season right now. It's like, let's not underestimate how we're being called forth. I mean, how we're being called to serve. Because as long as we're doing it with an open and loving heart and in the light archetype, the light of the spectrum from light to shadow, if we've got our eye on the alignment of light, then we can be used. You know what I mean? Sorry. We can be used. Spirit, what else do you want to show us? But this is amazing because I do see this new endeavor coming through. Ace of Pentacles. Love to see that. Okay. What else? Oh, dang. That was more than... Hold on. Let's see here. Okay. Let me get this together. Quite a few popped out. Okay. First one that popped out. Ten of Swords. I mean, I see where things were rough. I see the painful endings. So many of you are closing out cycles from the past that, you see good old Medusa here. She's got the 10 swords in her back. It was rough. You know what I mean? It was difficult. There were a lot of lessons learned. Like, I see that. But what emerges from that is the Four of Pentacles. And Spirit's talking about where from that you now have learned to kind of be more aware, be more cautious, be more conscious of how you move, where you invest your time and energy, and with who. There's kind of, because it's right next to the Five of Wands, there's kind of a little bit of where Spirit's showing me that you don't want to overthink this. You know what I mean? Like, yes, being cautious and not wanting to step into certain mistakes or get wrapped up in energy or investing time where it doesn't turn out well, like, like how this happened here, is a good thing. You want to be careful that you don't get all psych yourself out where you're overthinking like which way to move, She's got the snakes and the wands, like all these different opposing views within the self. So I think there's something to be very just cautious and remind yourself that you have learned the lesson of what happened here. You know what I mean? Like you've learned your lesson here. I think you need to trust that you got what you needed to get. You saw what you needed to see. You felt what you needed to feel. And don't hold yourself back out of your blessing and out of your path, because this was the first energy that popped up. Okay, new beginnings, new fruitful beginnings, ascension, balance. Like, honestly, this is what is headed your way, and you definitely don't want to let fear of this energy or what do I want to call it, like residue from that 10 of Swords energy, that painful energy, keep you from the blessings, keep you from the next part of the journey. Now, here's what I will say. There's someone or something going on here, okay? Seven of Swords, and then you got the good old Prince of Pentacles. So I'm hearing be you are being mindful. It's like being smart. There's a difference between like psyching yourself out, putting yourself in the shackles mentally, versus being very wise. If there is a person in your in your energy, in your world, if there's a person that you are thinking of, because this could quite literally be inner sign person, but it could also just be representative of you and where you're taking these steps. Okay, Seven of Wands was the last card that had popped out in that set, and Seven of Wands does speak of kind of like defensive energy. So it's kind of like Spirit's asking you to look at like, where's the defensive energy warranted, and where might this be just kind of like you freaking out about this feeling, this residue of what really didn't it was painful. It was just painful. So if this is quite literally a person, and let me just get some clarification, because it's like Spirit saying, even though you're walking in spirit, you're not walking without your brain. So you're still going to be able to think and see when something's afoot, when somebody's not right, when something's not right. If somebody's literally coming at you and you're feeling defensive, it's more like be wise with how you put your boundaries, where you put your boundaries. Be wise. Maybe it's that you don't need to be spending time with this individual. Anything else for us to see, Spirit? Can you clarify this Prince of Discs, please? Anything you want to... Okay. So, Seven of Cups here. There's a lot of different choices. So, you guys might notice right now that Spirit has been doing this thing where we're like, what should I do? We ask this question, what should I do? Should I go this way? Should I go that way? Should I do this thing? Should I do that thing? Should I hang out with this person? Should I keep this person around? This friend, this lover, this whoever. And a lot of the messages the communication that's been coming back from Spirit has been more about how we have all these options, right? Which I can see that being sort of frustrating for people, because it's been, and sometimes it's frustrating for me. I'm like, I just want to know. But it really is this thing of like, you guys, we have free will choice in what we do. But it's also like Spirit saying, look, you have all the tools you need to make this decision. That's the energy that's coming off of this card. It's like, there's something different in each of these cups. So as this spread is laid out before you, it's like you can objectively and spiritually tap in, and it's like use your spirit brain, use your brain, your mental brain, and all of the experiences that led you here. It's like you kind of know. You already kind of know. So don't get caught in this zone, this Five of Wands, where you are like, you're just like looking at 1,000,001 things, and it's causing you to like become super defensive within yourself. Like you don't know. And Spirit's like, you have the experience under your belt. This is not like, you're not the fool. You know what I mean? Like in the tarot, you're not green. You're seasoned. You got some sazon. Let's see here. Spirit, what else do you want us to know for the greatest and highest good of all concerned on the journey? You guys, why? Okay, Two of Cups. I was going to show you the first one, why I gear up to grab the next one. Two of Cups. Oh my God, I almost can't reach it. Okay. And Le Hermit. All right. Oh my goodness. Man, this has been such a big message coming through. When it comes to partnerships, union, whether it is that you are reflecting on things that have happened in partnerships, or you are literally getting the opportunity revisit. Some of you are getting the opportunity. You might not all feel like it's an opportunity, but Spirit's talking about there being a going within and understanding the deeper themes that took place in some of these partnerships, you know. So that's kind of like we're talking about, not rekindling, but reviewing and going to a higher place, a higher connected place in spirit with what's going on with you in partnerships. Now, there's also a forward movement energy that's coming off of these two cards, because some of you are even contemplating new partnerships. It's not just about reviewing old ones, because some of you are going, yeah, I already did that, Whitney. Okay, so if that's you, this other message is about going on a spiritual journey in the sense of the hermit, where you're really going within to review what it is that you really want to be doing with partnerships moving forward. Like for some of you, I feel like this is talking about spiritual partnerships or partnerships that have a lot more depth. So quite literally, because these two cards are here, the stuff that came out in the beginning when we talked about the Ten of Swords, that could have been like a painful ending with a relationship. It could have been like a best friend. It could have been a romantic partnership, a parent. You know, you place it where it resonates, but it does kind of give off this partnership vibe or whatever happened. And so there is this emphasis on moving forward differently. When it comes to partnerships, I got all serious all of a sudden because I think I'm feeling the energy of this painful ending, but not just the painful ending, but even more so like being very cautious about what's coming up. And again, what I was saying earlier in the reading, it's like there's something coming in about, can you trust yourself that you've gone through some tough stuff. So you've learned a lot of lessons. You've integrated a lot of things. So if you're looking at, okay, what's going to happen with partnerships in the future, or if someone quite literally is like come into your world and they're like, hey, you know, I got a cup for you or whatever, you know, there's something about sussing it out through the spiritual lens. Does that make sense? Because I do sense that a lot of you guys, you know, it's like going on a deeper spirit-led journey when it comes to relationships. Maybe that'll be a video if you guys want me to talk about that more. But like spiritual partnership and somebody who is, spirit saying, looking in the same direction. They've got their eye on spirit, right? Not somebody who's got their eye on, I don't know, superficial, you know, looking good, you know, being the center of attention, being the richest person in the world. Like if that's where they have their eye on, if that's their high goal, and you're over here having your eye on spirit and raising the collective consciousness, you know, serving people, doing things like in the alchemist archetype, doing things where your motives are rooted in service and spirit, there's going to be kind of a breakdown in communication and chemistry in that relationship. Okay, this whole reading kind of went in different ways, but you take it how it resonates. See if spirit has like one last message, and then I think we'll get ready to wrap. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. Woo, I had the chills. All right, we got the Strength card. We got the Ten of Cups, you guys. Hello. The Hanged Man. So you really are looking at parts of yourself. The higher and the lower self. You know, the spiritual versus maybe the earthly, kind of fleshly desire aspects of self. And I see you here kind of like looking and going back and forth within, keeping like what I like to think of as like checks and balances. And really reevaluating what this means to you. Dang, it's like really reevaluating what this ultimate wish fulfillment in partnership, in love, really. So I guess this is kind of a love reading, but it's kind of it's a it's a partnership and relationship and communityship paired with who you are and spiritually and how you're showing up. Let me just pull these up as you're in the visionary, the alchemist, and in service. Okay. Visionary, alchemist, and in service. So there's something really, this is huge because it's like you are seeing that your path forward, your path ahead is going to be rooted in these spiritual themes and how you work within yourself and how you work in partnership with other people. Whether you're thinking about this as a love partnership or this is friendship or family relationships, there's such an emphasis on like, who do I want to be in partnership? Who is in alignment with me on this path? And you know what? You're right. I can see why. I can see why this is happening because even as I hear myself say this, it's like it's not always so easy to just do that kind of like deductive reasoning. It's not always so easy. I mean, you do have to watch out for people who have a different motive than what it is that they say that they do. You know what I mean? And people can show up looking a certain way, saying a certain thing, saying, "Oh, I represent this." People might even say, "I'm spiritual. I'm on the same page as you." Yeah, like, yeah. But then you've got to go in and you've really got to trust. I'm getting to show you these two cards. These are these major arcana, okay? You've done a lot of this journeying, you're still doing the journeying, but you've done a lot of this journeying, and there's a lot of spiritual downloads coming in here, and they're not going to stop. So that's the message here is overarching. It's like you are merging kind of these things. It's almost as if you're building your ultimate 10 of cups life here, and relationships are a part of life, so I get why all of this is ultimately showing up. But think about the light and the dark aspects. Even that kind of comes through here in the strength card, and we look at the archetypes. You've got this visionary energy, this capacity to really envision and feel through what it is that God is giving you for this time, for your life. You have permission to create that life. Not everybody needs to be in alignment. Not everyone will be in alignment. Let's just, say the truth. And that's okay. It's like this feeling of like, as you're going forward, you're able to see what's in alignment. You feel through it. You're like, okay, yeah, I don't think that's for me, or I don't feel like that person is someone who's I'm meant to be in relationship with, or at least right now. And I can actually trust my inner knowing that, I'm getting this. I don't necessarily need to justify that to anybody. Sorry, you guys. So my camera just shut off. I'm getting used to the whole recording setup here on YouTube, but we're going to work it out. But what I was saying before it cut off was, you don't have to justify to other people. This is more about you being able to just trust yourself. I mean, point blank, this is about you being able to trust yourself in that you have gone on this journey of the hermit. You've experienced this 10 of swords, maybe multiple over the last couple of years, or like whatever it is. And you are able to discern. You have discernment. You also just have experience, but you also have your spirit guidance, right? So don't underestimate the resource and the support that you have in spirit with your spirit guides to be able to suss out when it comes to relationships or even opportunities for that matter. So I was getting ready to end the reading anyway, so it's just a good place. Spirit's like, yeah, because you just run your mouth and keep going. I feel like there's just so much that wants to come through. The camera literally has to cut off to tell me to zip it. But that's the reading, you guys. Trust yourself. Don't let the pains from the past hold you back from knowing what you know, from acknowledging what you know, whether it comes to relationships or opportunities, and get excited because this is such a special time that you're in right now. And it's going to be great. Trust yourself. Okay, I will see you guys in the next video. Love you. See you then. Bye.